Hey guys, welcome back. Jodie King here from the Jodie King Art Channel here on YouTube and jodieking.com. I've been a professional artist for over 16 years, and the way I paint now with paints is a little different than the way I used to paint. When I first started painting, I was all about, let's just figure this out. I'll just buy the cheaper paint because I don't know what I'm doing anyway, am I right? Have you been there? When I first started, I bought the least expensive paint I can use. I figured, Jackson Pollock, he used house paint, and other artists are known for using inexpensive paint. I'll just do the same thing. Well, here's the problem with that. When you first get started, or really any time now, the cheaper quality paint generally has less color saturation to the paint itself. So what that means is I would paint something and I would be super happy with it when the paint was wet, but when I would come back and the paint had dried, it had dried in a much darker, different color than it was when it was wet. Now, why does this matter? It matters a lot. Mostly because when we are painting, we want to be sure that we have really distinct values. So all great artwork has at least 2 or 3 different distinct color values, and that's what makes it really strong. For instance, let me pull up a painting here. Okay, I just set up this painting to be able to show you as an example. Okay, so what I was saying was that in our work, we always want to be sure that we have very distinct color values. And when we first start painting, usually the number one mistake that I see when I teach my workshops, I also sell an online color course, which is amazing, and I've taught thousands of people how to paint. But the number one mistake most new artists make is they use paint that's right out of the tube or right out of the bottle, and most paints are going to be a medium value. So what that means is it's not going to be white, it's not going to be black, it's going to be somewhere in between, right? It's going to be a medium value. So when we don't use really good high quality paints, we think we're painting with one value, but when it dries, it can actually be a different value. So let me just point out a little bit what I mean by this. Okay, so we've got a light value here. This is a very light value. This is, I think you could tell what are the very light values, right? And then we have some medium values here. This is going to be a very dark value. Well, if I was using a quality of paint that was maybe a lesser quality, I would paint something thinking, well, that's going to be a medium value, or maybe even a light value, but once it dried, it's going to be a darker value. So that really can completely change your work. You can go to, this has happened to me, you leave the studio one day, you come back and you take a look and you're so excited and you look at your painting and you're like, what the hell happened? What happened? And it got much, much darker. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to take this down and I'm going to give you an example of how only one color, cadmium orange, can look really, really different with 3 different brands. Okay, so I've got my blank canvas here and I'm just going to show you 3 different colors of cadmium orange. So this is what I consider one of the lesser quality brands of cadmium orange. Now, this is not a plug for a particular brand of paint at all. It's just to really show you how it can be super different when it's wet or dry, or just really different qualities of paint. My brand of choice, I like to buy Nova Color brand, but that's not always available to everybody all over the world. It's you can find it mostly in North America, so it's not always available to everyone. But I love this brand because it is a highly saturated color brand. It's super high quality, and they sell direct to artists, so it's just, you get a lot of value for it. It's much cheaper than some of the other major brands. Okay, so we've got that cadmium orange, and then we've got this one. Look at how different that is. Oh, well, okay, hold up. I had a little bit of black on my brush, so let's try that again. So look at the difference. Both of them are considered cadmium orange, but I don't know if you can see this, but this is a lesser quality and this is a better quality brand. And you can just see the color saturation is better. Now, they haven't dried yet. And then this one is my favorite. This is Nova, and it's just a really rich, yummy, highly saturated color. But we've got all three of these are considered cadmium orange. We've got this one, which is, it's almost transparent. There's just hardly any color saturation. Now you can get transparent and opaque. These were all considered opaque. And now you've got this one, which is better quality, but also still not, you can really see kind of straight through that sucker. And then here is a really high quality brand paint. And it's just, there just definitely is a difference between the three. Now, for reference, what I've gone ahead and done is I went ahead and drew a line here with just a graphite marker. And I wanted just to be able to demonstrate a little bit further about how the quality of the paints matter. So you can see this is, again, it was an opaque paint or a cadmium orange, but you can still see through it. You can still see through this one. And then I painted this one here, and you can hardly see through it at all. It's just so yummy and rich. It's almost like butter. Okay, so this wasn't really a commentary on a particular brand. It's just more to show you that, you know, if you go to bed at night and you wake up and you're like, what happened to my painting? It didn't have anything to do with you. It just happens. It's happened to all of us. So my suggestion would be, when you can, go ahead and just upgrade to a better quality of paint that's much more fully saturated than when you were using. So I hope you found this helpful. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if you have any more tips about your favorite brands of paint, please leave them in the comments below. Come on over and follow me on Instagram, or head over to jodieking.com if you're interested in any workshops or online courses, things like that. So thanks for joining me, and hope to see you next time. Take care. Peace out.